my question is, do you have a checklist on how to go about buying a property from the owner? There's no realtor involved at this time. Please advise. Thank you.
Great question. There are some resources online about this. Really, all you need to do, the first thing I would do is call a title company, because a title company is going to need to run clear title on the property. I would put a purchase agreement in place. You can get those very, very simply. A purchase agreement, literally, I mean, I'm not even joking about this. I've done purchase agreements on the back of an envelope. I've done purchase agreements on a napkin at a restaurant. Purchase agreements are simply a placeholder. They actually not really hold much legal value, because the closing documents are the most important, and those will be prepared for you by a title company. So what I would do is, if you're working with an owner, I would get on the phone, maybe a 3-way phone call with a title company, find a title company in your area that can prepare the title search and prepare a closing for the property. That's really all you need to do. I mean, if you're buying for cash, again, they will handle all of that. They will handle the transfer of funds from you to her or you to him, or him to you. I don't exactly know which direction this is going, but a title company will be able to handle all of this for you. You don't have to get a notary involved. The title company will handle it. You probably go right to their office, sit down in their office. They will prepare the background and title search to make sure that this owner owns it free and clear. If there are any encumbrances on title, any encumbrances that need to be dealt with, then they will solve this or figure this out, and then you can go to closing. They will, again, handle the escrowing of the funds, and you're off to the races. So I've done a lot of these transactions that do not involve any realtors. They do not involve any banks. I've done hundreds and hundreds of these transactions over the years, especially going back to my early days in real estate investing in the state of New Jersey, where I would wholesale a property. I'd find a property that needed a lot of work. I would reach out and find the owner, wherever that owner happened to be. I would say, look, I see this house has been sitting there vacant. I want to make an offer on the property. Here's what I'm willing to pay. And I would send them a purchase agreement. They would agree to it. I would call up Kathy, my friend Kathy at our title company that I worked with. She would prepare the documents. She would do a background check on the property, the title search, to find out if there are any issues and who owns the property. Because sometimes what had happened to me is, and just to give you a little real estate history, is that I'm just going to use a name, like John would say that he owns the property, right? And I'm like, hey, John, I want to buy the property from you. And he's like, great. I've been looking to get this property off my hands for years. It's vacant. It needs a whole renovation. Great, John. Then I would give it to Kathy to do a title search. And she would say, John's not the owner of this property. He and his brother Bob own the property. So you'll need to get Bob to sign off on the sale of this property. Well, where's Bob? And then John would say, well, I haven't spoken to Bob for 20 years. Oh, great. I've had that happen. I had a family. I had like 3 brothers and 2 sisters that they all hated each other, and I had to track them all down to do this project. It took me forever. And I found them, got them to sign the purchase agreement, got them to sign the closing documents, and finally was able to do this deal. But, sometimes you're going to find that there's a weird cloud on the title. They owe some back taxes you didn't know about. So you're doing this deal with this person, and you're going to find out, wait a second, they owe $10,000 in back taxes. Well, that needs to be settled at closing. Who's going to pay that? They should pay that, right? So at closing, they're going to get $10,000 less in profit, because we've got to settle this with the state or the city, the county or whatever, for back taxes, with the city. So a lot of this is very important. That's why you want to work involved with the title agent on this issue, and they will be able to take care of that for you. And that's really all you need to do. You don't have to overthink it. Now, of course, if there is financing involved, then that's a whole different animal. You'll need to contact a local bank and tell them what you've got here and you'd like to get a loan for this particular property. They'll do an inspection. They'll do an appraisal. And that's the only other step you need, is if you're involving a bank. But again, if it's free and clear and you're just paying cash for the property, you don't need to involve that process. So by the way, though, interest rates are so stinking low right now that why wouldn't you use a bank's money and keep more of your own money in your pocket? So that would be my advice personally. Okay. I hope that answers the question for you. Don't be scared of the process. Just call a title company and you'll be on your way. If you have a question that you'd like answered here on the show, just go to our website. Just go to morrisinvest.com. And morrisinvest.com is the website to go to, and click on the leave a voicemail button. And you can leave us a 30-second question here, and I will answer it on the show. Now, go out there, take action, everyone, and become a real estate investor. I believe it's the number one way to build wealth and, as I mentioned, to preserve wealth. We'll see you next time.